Hello everyone, welcome back to Elasticsearch Unlocked. In today's lesson, we are going to be looking at an in-depth dive into Elasticsearch. We have a recap on what we talked about the last time. So we'll be looking at querying in Elasticsearch. We'll be looking at updating, how to update data in Elasticsearch. Likewise, we'll be seeing some real-world or using real-world examples to carry out most of this task. And at the end of the lesson, there will be a challenge for you to do. So without any further delay, let's get started. So in our last session, we talked about Elasticsearch. So this is going to be like a recap of what we've done so far. So we see that Elasticsearch is a search engine optimization system that store data in form of JSON documents. We also see that we have Kibana, which is responsible for data visualization of the Elasticsearch. And I gave an example that Kibana is just like the front end of Elasticsearch that gives us the privilege or the opportunity to visualize how we manipulate data and how we can send it to Elasticsearch to do all the necessary analysis. We also see indexing as the process of adding data into Elasticsearch in form of documents. We looked at mapping. Mapping happens to be a process of defining the fields for documents in Elasticsearch and how each field represents a particular type of data type, and the data is being analyzed as well. We also looked at methods. We see that methods refer to HTTP requests we use to interact with Elasticsearch API, which is the application programming interface of Elasticsearch. So these are the things we've seen earlier in our lesson with Elasticsearch. But today we are going to be looking at updating data. So actually, we've also seen this briefly before now. So we've seen that before, if you are to create if you are to work with Elasticsearch, we need to create an index. Okay, when we've created the index, depending on how we want the data to be formatted, we either use the put method to create the document right from the beginning without defining the data structure or fields, because Elasticsearch automatically creates a type of an automated mapping, and we could also try to do it by ourselves, creating a mapping system predefined or defined the fields ourselves, which is what called the dynamic mapping. So in today's lesson, we'll be looking at updating data in Elasticsearch using the put method with _doc. So the put method simply with an _doc simply replaces the entire document in our index created already, and the posts _updates is used to partially update the data within our Elasticsearch or the document. So the querying, we also be looking at querying, basic querying like _cats APIs that we use to get cluster index stats in human readable formats. We will be looking at search API, which I've briefly talked about. So to retrieve actual data from our Elasticsearch document. And we'll be looking at match query as well to perform full text search and also analyze the output. We'll be using term, which is a keyword as well for querying, to find exact match of a particular type of fields that we have in our document. And after this, you have to do this challenge. You have to create a data set within the Kibana console, okay, containing the number of students with fields of age and the name, grades of the student. So, and within it, you should search for names containing a particular, son is just like an example of what the name could be, containing a son or the name of a particular student within the data set. And I think without any further delay, let's dive in and see some practical with respect to data filtering and updating of data and some queries that we've mentioned here. So I think I already talked about filtering and searching as well. So we also we use searching system in Elasticsearch to search for relevant text matches, similar to search method query. As I've mentioned, we also use it. We have filtering also, the filtering method or function that we use to search for exact conditions in our documents. So let's see how all these methods work. Okay, let me expand this so that we can have a full screen. Okay, so now I'm sure by now you should be able to know how to set up your Kibana and Elasticsearch. Always remember that before you're able to get to this stage, you should run your Elasticsearch. Okay, from there you are able to connect with Kibana. When you started your Elasticsearch, then you come along to run Kibana. And let me clear up what we have here. And from the beginning, we start to create our own data set. So first, like I mentioned, that we use the put method to create or update data. So let's start with the put method. So put is simply type the keyword put. Then what should we call this particular data set? What should we call our index, because we are using the put to create the index, and within the index we can now create our document that will contain the structure in which we want our data to take, the format we want our data to take. So we have the put method, and the put method, we use it to create an index. So what should be the name of this particular index that we want to create? Excuse me. So let's assume that the index we want to create is a product index. So let's say product. I think I have this already. Product underscore index, let's say _2, because I already have products underscore index already as an index. So / okay, and enter. Sorry, I don't need any alias. Then open a curly brace. Then within the curly brace, we can now define the structure of our data. So let's start by creating the mapping for this particular index. So we say mapping, and we set the property of this mapping, and we set the fields for this mapping. So our product should have a product name. Okay, so we say name of the product, and the data type of this product will be, of course, a text. So the type will be a text as usual. Then next will be that our product should have a price. Okay, so we say price. Okay, and the type will be what? It will be an integer. So the type should be an integer. Okay, and the next, our product should have should have a date. Okay, added dates. The product added the added dates. Okay, so we say the dates or export. Let's say dates underscore. Excuse me. Dates underscore added. Okay, and this date should be what? It should be a date stamp, so the type should be it should be date. Okay, and now we've set the mapping, we've set the structure, the time, the few formats we want our data to take, and now create a document. So let's create the document, and the first document we create here, we use the post method, because always remember that the post method is used to add data to the Elasticsearch index. So while the put method is used to create Elasticsearch index and also to update the data. Okay, you can use the post for creating the Elasticsearch document to add data to the Elasticsearch document. So we call our index product underscore what underscore 2, right? Okay, and we say / and here we can now structure the input feeds for each of these products. Okay, we say it has the product as a name, and within that we have it to be a text. And what should we call the name of this product? Should we create a product for grocery or vegetable? So let's say vegetable, for instance. So we could say potato or tomato, because I love cooking. And we could also say another, so the price for this particular product is what, let's say $20. And remember that price is an integer, so it shouldn't be a string, so we don't get into type error. And the next is the next should be the date. So we say date added, when was this product added to our store, and the date should be in form of the year, which is 2025. I say 2025, and May 05. Then we say on the 23rd. Okay, and this way we set up the data structure for our products and the fields. So if we are to check now, before we start using each of those methods to see whether or not these are products or these are our data is ready, we can easily run the index and also the document. Pardon me, I didn't add doc to this. Remember, it's a document within the Elasticsearch, so we should add _doc to it. And we could also give it the ID, or we could leave it, because Elasticsearch auto generates the ID for each document added to Elasticsearch, each document added to the index. So let's run this and see if what we've done is successful. Okay, so we have a bad request here. So it's a resources already exist exception, index products underscore already exists. Okay, so already exists doesn't mean that it's not working, but let's see if we change the index name to products. Okay, instead of products, let's change it to product and see. So products, and let's see. Okay, still the same thing. Or let's clear the output and okay. Clear all. Let's add this. Did I add the / initially? I don't think so. So product index already exists, so we don't know. Maybe we should use something else, or we should just use underscore index like this. And let's see. Okay, it says invalid name. Okay, or let's just use store, because I've done a lot of updates to data, so probably that's why we're having that output giving us already exists. Now we have the products that it's created, so acknowledged, true, and our data store is created. Okay, so now we have to change this name to the already existing one that we've updated. So we say store. Okay, and let's see this now. So we have a positive output, and as we can see here, the index store is created, results created, the shared number of shares 2. I promised to explain some of these terms or keywords. I will dedicate a video to explain this in the future. So we have this already created, this document already created in our index store, and now let's see. And remember that the ID too is ID 1. So let's use some of those methods that I mentioned in our slide. So I think I mentioned filtering, I mentioned search. Okay, let's start with search. The last time we actually worked with search, but I don't think we used it as much as expected. So search, so we use the get method to retrieve the data within our documents that is created within our index. So we say get, and the name of our index is what? Store. So, and within store we said we want to search for a particular document, and we call it we say search as a keyword. Then we can search for this particular document. Okay, and now we have the document, and it says value is 1. It's a single document within our index. We could have multiple documents, and now we have index store. We have the ID to be this, and we have the name of the product within our index, within our documents to be tomato, and we have the price to be 23, and dates added is on 25th as stated. So like, what other method or other search analytics can we do with Elasticsearch? So we could do filtration. Okay, we could filter the data within Elasticsearch using the filter methods. Okay, so let's use the query method to search or match for a particular product within our Elasticsearch document. Actually, here we have a single document. We could also duplicate. So let me just duplicate this and just update the data, and so that we could have more than one document within our index. So let's call this what can we call this? We could call this carrots, and the price could be maybe 30, and the added dates could be different year, 2024, and the dates could be the month could be this, and we could change this to be maybe 12. Okay, so now if we check, we should have this as well within our document. So we could say put. Remember that we are adding this particular products within our document in Elasticsearch. So we should say that the name of the index is stored as usual, and the document _ document doc, and the ID should be 2. So we can now check if it's there. Yeah, voila, it's there. So, and so if we search now for the number of documents within our index, we will see that it's more than 1. So the value is 1. So that means we have more than more than one document, and we could see that we have it to be tomato and we also have this to be carrot. So now let's search for a match of a particular product. So we start by, so under the get method, we just say open a curly brace and just use the keyword query. Okay, and within query we say match. Okay, and within match we have field and text. So let's look for a match of let's say for the tomato. Okay, tomato. And when you're matching a particular field or a particular object within your document, make sure they have the same, is exact same field. Okay, sorry, this should be name. Then the field is what? Tomato. Okay, and let's search and see. Okay, it says yes, we have a single value there, that we have the single document within this particular index, and we could search and see that we have a single document called tomato, and we have it here, which is ID 1, okay, which is what we have within our document, ID 1, and we have the value, the name of the product to be tomato, and the price to be 23, and the date matches exactly the same thing. Okay, and I think this is where we'll wrap it up for today. So today we are only able to create, as usual, an Elasticsearch index. Within the Elasticsearch index, we are able to update it by posting some document, posting some documents within it, and we are able to search and see that those documents, the Elasticsearch index was updated, and we have the document within it, and we use the search method and the get method to get all the documents within the index, and we see that the result, the output was correct, and we went ahead to use the query method as stated in our slide there that we are going to be looking at today. So we use the query method to do some filtration, and we're able to match names of a particular product within the index document. So with this, we have been able to understand how searching system work within Elasticsearch. So in our next class, I think we'll continue from this slide. Okay, we will have to do some update as well of data. Okay, I think we partially did this today. Because I used the put method to create the document and the post method to update the Elasticsearch index. Yes, we didn't update any specific data, we only update the document itself. So we didn't, but in our next class, maybe we'll do more of updating a specific data within the document. We also have here, I have a challenge here for you. Try to take a screenshot of this challenge and try to create this data set just the way I did it here within your Elasticsearch, and make sure that you solve the problem. So thank you, and see you in the next one. God bless.